What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Retro Hoop Collectibles PSA update, our weekly PSA update. We're gonna get started. So before I get started, if you have not already watched the first video, all right, I'm getting texts like a mutta. Let's turn this off. Very unprofessional. If you have not watched the first video, go back and watch that. I'll link it in the description. I'll also link it up top. Also, before we jump into the video, if you have not already, please follow me on Retro Hoop Breaks on Instagram. Also, follow Collect 3D Prints. That is a little project that I'm helping my brother with. We are doing display cases in an effort to get those beautiful slabs out of the boxes and onto your shelves and display them proudly. Check them out. Collect 3D Prints on Instagram. Follow me at Retro Hoops on Instagram. And we'll get right into the mix. If you haven't watched the first video where I go through all the logic and all the other stuff, please take a look at that. It's going to explain in detail the logic that I'm using for my spreadsheet as we get into it and kind of talk about what's going on. So, admittedly enough, I just pulled these up. I haven't looked at it yet, really, because we've been looking at throughput dates or what's complete through dates, and they've been completely irrelevant. So, it looks like they continue to be irrelevant. No big changes anywhere, for that matter. So complete through dates continue to be completely useless. So we'll close that out. I did want to, PSA did a quick letter from the president. Joe Orlando released his Steve Sloan released his monthly thing. Order entry is caught up. I think we knew that last week or so, maybe a week and a half ago. Customer service is caught up. That's a new one. I'm sure they have some kind of customer service system where they're tracking all of their orders and stuff like that, emails and all the customer service requests that are coming in. So they're caught up there. So that's pretty cool. Responding to email inquiries within 48 hours. I haven't sent them an email in a very long time, but you guys let me know in the comments. Are you guys seeing that quick of a turnaround on your requests that you may be sending in? And then they unveiled a customer service center, which is also something we kind of already knew. July 1st remains the goal. They're pretty adamant about sticking to that July 1st goal. We'll see how that goes. Update on qualifiers. This one was interesting because qualifiers the last time, and the way I interpreted the last announcement on qualifiers was that they were getting rid of them. It doesn't sound like they're getting rid of them. It sounds like, and you guys can go back and read this. This is on PSA's website. It sounds like it's no longer an option whether or not you want your card to have a qualifier. PSA no longer requires card submitters to decide on qualifiers. They will be assigned at the grader's discretion. Most typically will impact the numerical grade rather than carrying a qualifier. I don't understand that. The other qualifiers, off-center, stain, print defects, and out of focus, will be assigned at the grader's discretion and most typically will impact the numerical grade rather than carry a qualifier. There are nuances, and we encourage collectors to review the updated policy on the PSA grading standards page. They have this whole page right here that you can click, and it tells you like all their standards as to like what it means to be a Gem Mint 10, what it means to be a 9, what it means to be a 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, all the way down to a 1. And then they give you a little detail on the half grades. I think we've been through this already. This is nothing new. But that's pretty much it. And also PSA will be at the National, which you guys have already heard my opinion on that. So that's it. All right, so let's get into the numbers. PSA did pretty good this week. 138,000 items were added to the Pop Report, which is pretty on par with the last maybe 6 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 134,000 is the last 6 weeks average, which is why I thought they'd be around 135,000, which they weren't. They were at 138, so I was off by 3,000. I'm getting pretty good at this, predicting what they're going to do. The big ones as usual, basketball, 51,000 slabs that were added to the basketball Pop Report. So they're continuing this cycle of like having these spikes and then kind of lulling down a little bit and then easing up to these spikes. Now, I honestly feel like this week was a little bit lower, and I put that 135,000 in there as my guess just because I felt like Monday, which was a holiday, and then potentially people either taking off the following Tuesday or maybe not catching any overtime over the weekend to like get caught up. I'm pretty sure PSA is offering quite a bit of overtime on the weekends and in the evenings or different shifts or what have you. So I kind of felt like people were probably going to take the weekend off, so there wasn't going to be as much overtime. And then obviously everybody's going to be off Monday and then maybe off the following Tuesday. So had this past week not been a holiday week, I really feel like that number probably would have been closer to the 145s, maybe even the 150s, which we haven't seen anything that high since the week of the 17th when we pulled data. It was 164,000. So I'm looking at this to be like their new ceiling, or not their new ceiling, but this is the current ceiling. It's the highest one they've done. So I'm looking for them to like get there right around here. So I'm going to put in a prediction for next week, and I'm going to say we're going to be in around 100 and... Let me see. Where are we at? What's the last 3 weeks? 138, 145, 147, 139. So yeah, I'm going to say around 150,000 is what they're going to do next week. TCG cards, big week for TCG cards. Almost 20,000 TCG cards got subbed or got graded. Baseball and basketball continue to be king. Basketball continue to be number one. Baseball, a very close second, or actually not even a close second, like maybe by 15,000. And then football, and then TCG. Good stuff. All right, so let's see what that does in terms of the date. So previously, I need to be more conscious of where my head is. There it is. Okay. So previously, 10/12 was what we were looking at. Let me make the adjustment on the to add this. All right, not very much. Not much. No bueno. So based on a 4 million card backlog, October of this year, based on a 6 million card backlog, for them to be fully caught up, we're looking at December. An 8 million card backlog puts us in March of next year, and a 10 million card backlog, which is by all accounts probably the more accurate one, we're looking at June of next year before they're caught up, which is a little scary because they only have they have 23 days until the 1st of July, which is essentially about 3 weeks. And they're not going to cover, 3 million cards in the next 3 weeks. It's just, I don't know. It's tough, man. I really don't see them getting caught. I don't know what they're going to do June 1st. I mean, they recently just sent out that announcement, right? That announcement from PSA came out when? June 7th, yesterday. Basically saying, hey, we're still going to open back up June 1st. And I'm concerned about that because I don't really see, yes, they've made a drastic improvement to their output, but nothing, I don't think it's enough of an improvement on their input, on their output, that's going to warrant them to turn on services. Now, as I'm saying that, I'm thinking about it and I'm saying, okay, it depends what service they decide to turn back on and at what price point they decide to turn that service back on, right? So right now, the cheapest one that you can get through is an Express or a Super Express, right? No, Express at $300. So if they turn on a regular at $150, are you subbing? Because even a regular, if we look at based on the complete through dates, which we know they're kind of caca at the moment, you're still looking at almost a 4-month turnaround for a regular order. You paying $150 for that? I hope not. I hope not. But I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? Is which service are they going to turn back on? Right? Which service are they going to turn back on, and what's the price point? Because I got a feeling that these I mean, that Express at $300, it's probably going to be, that's the norm. I think that's what they're going to roll with from here on out. Suspended. Super Express. Okay, my bad. So the Express. Okay, so that's what they're doing then. All right, so if they're turning on the Express at $150, and the Express is still taking March, April, May, June, 3 months. That's still 3 months. 4 months. 3 months. 3 months. You're paying $150 for a 4-month for a 3-month turnaround? I don't think so. I hope not. You know, so it's really gonna, you know, so July 1st, they're obviously now caught up with bringing in the orders, which is great. That's a good thing. They're caught up with customer service. That's also a good thing. That's great. But when it comes time to open back up, what are they going to open back up, and at what price point? Are they going to continue that $150 price point for the Express? And is that the first thing that they're going to open up? I'm almost certain that that's what they're going to do. They're going to open up Express, and it's going to be at that $150 price point. And hopefully still, you know, curtail some of the demand that they got coming in. We'll see. I just don't think that they have anything here that's showing me, you know, like this 138,000 or even the 6 month or the 6 week average is looking at 140,000 roughly. That is not anything for them to be able to use as a foundation to open services back up. Now, if they just open up Super Express and that accounts for an additional 10% or an additional 3% or 4%, okay, cool. You know, that might really kick things off, but it's going to grow their backlog. And the backlog in this calculation is one thing that we just don't know what it is. It's going to grow their backlog. It's going to make it bigger. And then we'll see where they end up at. But they're holding tight to that July 1st date to restore services. It's just what service and at how much. So that's going to do it for this week's update on PSA. They did pretty good, 143,000. 140. What did I say? 142,000, right? It didn't move. No, sorry, 138,000. And it didn't move the needle too much in terms of when they're going to be caught up. Pretty flat from last month or last week. So I'm expecting a jump to the 150,000 range for next week. We'll see. But yeah, that's it. I don't think. Here's the other thing too, is that if they open services back up, and you guys know for a fact that their grading has completely tightened up, and that the prospects of you getting a 10 are just not the same anymore. It used to be that a gem rate was about half, about 50% gem rate. If you sent in a card, chances are, if you sent in a card looking for a gem, chances are you got about 50% chance to get in a gem, based on the data that I've been pulling. Now that is not really fair though, because I can't assume that everybody that sent in a card wants a 10 or was expecting a 10. Like my 3 Elijah ones, I know for sure like 5s, which based on what I'm seeing now and what I'm seeing them come back at it, they're going to be 3s when they come back. But anyway, a 10 is much harder to come by. And it's almost near impossible depending on the card based on what I've been pulling. But, you know, if the services come back at $150 and you know a 10 is really going to be hard to come by, how much are you going to sub? And it's a 4-month wait or a 3-month wait. How much are you going to sub really? And how many cards would you be subbing that you wouldn't have subbed at the $300 price point? I really think that the card flipping game is not going to be where it's at anymore. The whole idea of buying raw, subbing, grading, and flipping 9s and 10s, that's not going to work no more. I don't think it's going to work no more. You'd have to have like some monster. I think the price of raw cards is going to start going up. And, that strategy of buying raw cards and subbing them for 10s is not going to be good anymore. That's not a viable strategy for those of you who are investors. So we'll see. I don't know. But that's it. I'm trying to keep these short and sweet. Again, follow me on Instagram at Retro Hoop Breaks. Follow us at Instagram at Collector 3D Prints. Collect 3D Prints. Make sure I got that right. Collect 3D Prints. We got a website coming soon where you'll be able to buy some of those display cases. They're pretty dope. Check the affiliate links down below. I got an affiliate link for cardhedger.com and also for the magnifying glass that I use to check my cards before grading them. And that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching, for continuing to be here on Wednesdays. I do this every Wednesday at 6 p.m. and you guys show up like clockwork. And I really appreciate that. Hit that like button if you like this series. It helps out the algorithm. It helps out the channel. Follow the affiliate links if you're so inclined to purchase the services anyway. It also helps the channel. And I'll catch you guys next time. Love y'all. Peace.